Hey there, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for an MJ Sector review. Today's a review for Thursday, May 13th. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing as the topic of the day, Trulieve reporting Q1 revenue, record first quarter revenue of 2021 of $193.8 million. So we'll look at the details on that in just a second. Aurora also had earnings today. And we'll cover some other news and events before we jump into the US and the Canadian MJ sectors and the charts. So before we jump in, make sure to smash the like and subscribe to the channel. So Trulieve reports first quarter 2021 revenue of $193.8 million, net income of $30.1 million, and adjusted EBITDA of $90.8 million. And they achieved gross profit of $135.3 million and gross margin of 70%. So great margins there, and they're seeing an increase of 15% over Q4 2020. With LPs in Canada, we've been seeing a decrease in the quarter over quarter, and that increase, sequential increase. So minus Hexo. Hexo has been the only real LP that has been increasing quarter over quarter. So we'll look at that in just a second in the Aurora earnings, but not seeing that trend in the US MSOs, so that's notable. We're not seeing the sales decline each quarter, so beating estimates, and they missed slightly on EPS. We were expecting 0.3, but came in at 0.28. Slight miss, but still good nonetheless. Still positive EPS, and 193.8 million. And that was the 13th consecutive quarter of profitability after it announced that definitive agreement as well to acquire Harvest Health and Recreation Inc. as more mega mergers continue. And they delivered $60.4 million in cash flows from operations. So again, not going to go over this entire article just in the effort of time, but you can go over that on your own time. So again, missed on EPS. Revenue was expected of 188, came in at 193.8. So huge beat there. And Aurora, oh man, this stock is just struggling. So we were expecting, came in at 55 million. We're expecting 69.72 million, and just keeps getting slaughtered. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I feel bad for anybody that is still holding it, although I don't know too many people that are still holding Aurora, and honestly just can't even stand to look at it or hear the name anymore. I thought about doing a video on it, but honestly just absolutely no interest in Aurora lately. But you can check out those numbers, but they essentially are declining in revenue. It's going to be interesting when Hexo, because like I said, out of all the LPs, Hexo has been the only one who's been showing that increase quarter over quarter. And it's going to be interesting to see whether or not that happens in Hexo, or if all this market share is going to Hexo. We'll have to wait and see, but their next report is due in June. So moving on, Zenabis obtained shareholder approval for the arrangement with Hexo, and I'm also going to do another video on this, so I'll touch a little bit more on Zenabis and Hexo a little bit later on. But we also saw Sundial's adult use MJ revenue dived 38% in the quarter, so again, more LPs starting to see weakening revenue and the adult use sales. So it's going to be interesting to see if Hexo captures some of that. Colorado sold more than $500 million in legal MJ in 2021's first 3 months. That is impressive. So Hexo Corp and Rec announced brand partnership for Powered by Hexo, expansion into the United States. Again, I'm going to do another video on Zenabis and Hexo in a little bit, so we'll go over what I think on that in that video. But this is great. Just taking a look at Rec, who they are. They've done work for eBay, StubHub, Amazon, so they do everything from advertising, marketing, email marketing, social media, SEO, SEM campaigns by client industry, solution, capability. So very, very strong company that they're working with. So taking a look at the Trulieve chart, we are consolidating again today. We have support at 44.80 and then key support at 43.52. We do have a lack of resistance up to 53.88. And I wouldn't say that we changed the daily trend just yet. I would say that we need to break 53.88 from here to change that daily trend. But at this point, we're more than likely eyeing a type of equilibrium, and we're still searching for this bottom here. We are in a weekly downtrend with a lower high and a lower low. So this could be our potential weekly lower high, topping out at EMA 12. So we need to be cautious. It's also a potential, looks like it's a potential bear flag at this point. Let's just double check. We bounced a little bit more than we would like to see, but not going to completely rule it out of the equation. So if we do lose support here at 43.52, we have a lack of support after that down until 39.26. So it's not looking good. We could see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross of those weekly EMAs as well. And we failed to get over it ever since we lost it here. So we're attempting a weekly trend change though with a low, high, higher low. If we can form a higher low compared to 43.52 and then break resistance here at 53.88, we would change the weekly trend. And that would mean that monthly consolidation is finished at that point and that our temporary bottom is likely in for now and that we can be heading up to all-time highs. But take a look at my broader market video from earlier today. SPY, the S&P 500 didn't change the hourly trends, so we're a little skeptical at this point on whether or not we're going to see further upside in the stock market and the overall broader market, and that's obviously going to hurt the MJ space, especially, including Trulieve, especially if we see more downside tomorrow. We're not set up that well on US MJ at all. And taking a look at the weekly chart for TRUL, we're underneath the 10-week moving average. The stochastic is trying to cross bullish, but the MACD is still extremely bearish as well. We've still yet to test the 50 weekly moving average down at 38.32. So I could see us pulling back to around the $38 mark. Absolutely. We also have the 200-day moving average down at 42.11. So it's entirely possible that we revisit that 42 and maybe even dip below $40. We're not seeing a massive reaction to those earnings, and they were great numbers. 13th consecutive quarter of profitability. It's not looking good, but we're also testing the weekly VWAP, which is sitting there at 44.94. So if we can close the week above 44.94, that's going to be a point in favor of the bulls. But MSOS, the ETF that tracks all of the major US companies, you can see that we broke the daily inside bar bearish and we started daily consolidation today. We have key support though coming up at 37.56. If we do see weakness in our MSOs, we're likely going to lose that support. And we want to hold that level at all costs. We're trying to change the daily trend, and like I said, more than likely going to favor a type of equilibrium, the low, high, higher, low, lower, high, and tightening range. So taking a look at the bull and bear list, we had FLGC, Bev, and Ian on the decline. On the bull list, we had BAM, TAT, and IIPR. So again, not really the reaction that TRUL bulls wanted to see today to those earnings after coming in with record revenue. And we're also topping out at EMA 12 here, but in my opinion, we need to break 53.88 to change that daily trend. And after that, we've got a lack of resistance up until all-time highs. So going to be interesting to see what kind of day we have tomorrow. Again, SPY didn't change the hourly trend, so it's entirely possible that we see further consolidation. As I said, Aurora down about 10% here after hours. We were down over 10% at one point and struggling to get over EMA 12 here on the 5-minute, but obviously getting slammed after missing revenue expectations by a good bit and breaking to a new lower low. And it is just a train wreck. We're almost daily oversold there on ACB as well. So on the bear list, we had VLNS, TGOD, and RIV. On the bull list, we had N, High Tide, and PCLO. So Hexo lost its support at 617, lost the daily uptrend. Now we're back into daily higher low scouting mode, and we're looking for a higher low compared to 502. And we changed the daily trend, confirmed the daily bull flag, but here we are, weekly consolidation, looking for a higher low compared to 502. We could actually attempt a weekly trend change here. So if we were to set a higher low compared to 502 and then break resistance up at 753, that would confirm a weekly uptrend. And we do have earnings coming up in the third week of June. But I bought the dip today on Hexo. We had support at 571 and we closed above that, so that was positive to see. But CGC also down today, breaking to a new low, breaking the inside bar bearish. The whole sector is just absolutely helpless at the moment. TGOD down over 13% on its earnings, closing at the low of the day. Does have support at 30 cents and then 28 key support as well. So we'll be watching 28. There's a lot of support in that area. I know a few people in our group added to some of those positions today. Their turnaround plan sounds pretty decent, but they just need to go out and execute from this point on. So again, going to do a video on the Cannabis and Hexo merger and shareholder vote, and we'll look at some detailed analysis on both of those tickers. So thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you a little bit later on. Best of luck into tomorrow. And once again, thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.